Good morning and welcome to LinkedIn Live with Carla Edwards and our co-host Ashley Barland.
That in the little, you don't call me Ashley. You never call me Ashley.
I never do that. I just take the piss.
I know you were. I've just turned my fan off, but I'm now absolutely dying.
Good. Well, you have to die quietly because we're doing this now and I'm sick of feeling like I'm inside a turbo jet.
Oh, I love it. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm really, really busy and fired up, which is amazing. Like I forgot how amazing that feels because I haven't been this busy for this long. But it's mint. I love it.
So how busy? Because obviously we're just going to kind of move on from where we were last talk, which was that you were setting records and wanting to start.
Yes, I wanted to break. I felt like I got myself into where it's going to sound like a massive contradiction, to be honest, but hey ho, that's life. It changes. But I wanted to like be a business owner, train, get more staff. But it's not. I love what I do with clients. I love speaking to clients. I love creating content. I love getting like the
Selling
leads
and stuff,
in.
innit?
Like
Yeah.
that's my thing. I love it. So I've just been not slower than normal, but I suppose I've just been a lot more relaxed and a lot more like not 100% on my game with it because I've got staff and I've got other people who are doing it. And it's not about like, I don't want people thinking, oh, she's trying to hit a target for like money purposes. It's got nothing to do with that. It was purely because it's my grandma's birthday, it's a memorial, it's a shit 4 weeks. I just wanted to put my head and focus my energy onto something that could be a positive rather than being distracted by negative, sad reminders.
Yeah.
And like the difference it's made, like I'm wired weirdly. Like if someone said to me, right, if you hit this target, I'm going to give you a certificate that says you are the best. That would be more of an incentive for me than anything to do with the money or like what it means that way. Like I genuinely just like to, it's like a little, it's weird as, but I know I can do it type thing. Like
It's proving to yourself. It's that gamification of it. I get it because I'm the same. It's the money is just. And I love it when you see people that the money is just a way of keeping score. To be honest, it's all it is.
Yeah, like, but because I don't really work that way, and I just work on because I'm quite busy anyway. I've sort of just shifted into first gear, and oh my god, it's sickening. It's sickening. Like when you actually like what I've done in this past. What I've done this past week's been insane, hasn't it?
But it has. And there's a great thing, and you'll get this. There's a great guy that I follow who says this all the time, and he says, "There's nothing bigger." I'm trying to remember how he says it. He says, "There's nothing bigger than the debt." So, like, let's say if you like to want to earn 100, let's say you want to earn £1 million a year, but you make £100,000 a year. He said, the debt it costs you £900,000 every year to not know how to make £1 million a year, and there's an element of that with yourself, as you say, where you start looking, going, I can't believe I've left that much on the table. Like there's a thing of like, what? This is mad. Like I've just done this for the last, because yeah, you just start realizing how much you could have made and how successful the business could have been when you realize what you've done just in a week. Like it's been insane to see. Like I've loved it. I've loved seeing the scores going up each day. Where is it? And like I've been like, I've a fact because I've been sharing it on my stories. You've seen I've had clients. No one knows it's you unless they watch this.
Well, they do now.
Yeah, they just say unless they watch this, which is fine. But I've been sharing it, and people have been like, "Oh my gosh, how are they doing that? Who is that? Like, what are they doing?" I'm like, "Well, that's what we want. You know, you are built different. That's what we said last time. So it's good to see. It's very good to see."
It's good, but it is. But then I think like I've been trying over the weekend. I was thinking about it. I was like, oh my god, if I'd have been doing this for the last year, my house would have been paid for with a lot less stress, right?
Yes.
But because it's not, even though I've got a purpose to and a reason to need to earn money, like that isn't. I can't explain it. Like I love earning the money, but that's not. That doesn't. If someone said to me, "Oh well, you should try and earn this year," unless I'm trying to beat something. I'm not asked. Like I've got to have a little, I don't know, like a little achievement thing to get to for it.
See, you know, you said this is one of mine. I've never shared this. I think I've told it to you, but I've never shared this publicly. I don't think because it's not very nice. But like my thing is, I need to have someone I need to beat. I'm super competitive. so competitive that if there's no one else in the space, I find it really, like, money doesn't bother me. Obviously, you need enough to pay your bills, but after
Yeah.
that's hit, it's like, but it is kind of, but if there's someone else who's like, I'm the best, I'm like, nope, I'm going to prove to everybody else that I'm the best. And that's your certificate. I'm not a certificate person, but I am like, very
I'm like, I need like it's like, you know, when you're at school and you do something and you want like the recognition from the teacher that you've done it. Like, I was always that kid, like, I've done it, I've finished. Like, I remember it as a kid and I look at it now and I think, oh my God, I still do that now as an adult. Like, and when you're self-employed and when you're running a business and there's nobody above you, it's really hard to sort of keep that momentum going.
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted to do this target. And that's why, like, this last week, I've made myself physically sick at what I could have been doing. However, I do believe like that I've probably had my foot off the gas for about a year, like with everything that's gone on personally, but in terms of professionally as well, I think I've learned a lot in terms of like what's important and what to be dealt with time wise, how I've trialed it. Like, the problem I always had when I was doing things previously was I've only ever done it that way. And I've just constantly ran on that way all the time. Like, just, this is how I do it and this is how I make it work. But the last year, I've changed things. I've tried it different ways. I've went through like trying to get clients in different ways, using forms, using different types of forms. You know, do we do emails? Do we do WhatsApps? Do we do video calls? Like, we've tried and errored a lot of things. And I feel a lot more confident now coming back into, no, I'm going to take it back to basics because that is what I am effing good at.
Sometimes on that, because that's something, sometimes on that, I think that's a really important point, is sometimes for people to understand this as well, is like, it's like, and I'm sure, I know this will happen to you because it happens to me, is that you'll talk to other people who are business owners and quite quickly they can not belittle you intentionally, but it's like, well, if you're not doing an automated blah, 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 blah system, you're not really a business and you're not really a this, and you get it. And I get caught up in it all the time. And then you think, but why am I pro rata making more money than you are? Like, that doesn't make sense.
No, that literally happened to me. You know, that's literally what I feel like happens all the time. Like, I'll go, like, when I'm at events or like even just like when I went to the cricket thing a couple of months ago, like you see other people, and obviously the really, really successful people have been doing it a hell of a lot longer. And they're like, what, you still speak to clients? I'm like, yeah. Why? Like, you're never going to grow if you still, and I'm like, I don't know whether I want to grow. Like, I don't know.
Also,
like,
I don't know if that's true. I also don't know if that's true. You know what I mean? As in, not that.
Well,
I mean, like when people say that, because it just doesn't.
Yeah, but how do they know anyway? Because they're not me.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, like, that's the thing. It might work for me, and you said this in the last episode. And it's the same thing. Is like, they're not you. They don't know your system. Like, I have people tell me all the time, my thing was content. The amount of people who would say, you can't post that much every day. You can't do that. It's not doable. You can't do it when you can't scale it. It's not possible if you have a business. Definitely not possible when you have a family. And every single time I've been like, well, it is. It is. It works. So don't tell me, when they say to someone like yourself, you're not still selling. It's like, no, you don't want to sell. Don't put your...
Yeah, I love to sell.
Yeah, exactly. I love doing the job. So if you don't tell me that I have to stop selling because you don't want to sell. Or the best ones are people who've done it long enough is, or you don't remember how to, which is the bigger one.
I know, but it's like, I get a little buzz off it, so I don't mind. And I think I've been trying to be a business owner rather than an advisor. I actually love being an advisor, so I don't care if that means that I'm not as great and as successful as other people. I need to accept that that's not who I am. Like, I buzz, absolutely buzz. Like, this last week, forget the fact that the sickening amount of like what I've put through is disgusting, that I could have been doing that, but not even that. It's the how much better I felt mentally, like in my... Thank you, love. Sorry, Kate was just moving. Yeah, right. Yeah, thank you. How much like better I feel mentally. Oh my God, I can't even like, and I know it sounds mad, but you know, like when you're not as busy, like I sleep more, I can't be arsed more. Yeah. I'm more like relaxed. Like, as much as I'm, you know, maybe not spending as much time with the kids because I'm working. Like last week, you know, like I was putting on my Instagram, I was coming to the office at 9 and leaving at 8, 9 o'clock. And yeah, that's intense. But then when I sit and think about it, I said to someone who was I talking to the other day, and I said it. Oh, it was a client. I said to a client the other day, I was like, he went, "You going on holiday again?" Because I'm going away again. And I was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Again?" And I went, "Yeah, but I work like 15-hour days, Monday to Thursday. And yeah, that's a lot." And people are like, "What about the kids?" And yeah, I feel guilty when I'm coming in at 8 o'clock at night and I haven't seen the kids all day. But at the same aspect, I get Friday, Saturday, Sunday off completely. And I go away on holiday very, very often. So when you work it out over the full year, it probably evens itself out. But mentally and emotionally, I'm so much better when I work like this. Like, it's just who I am. That's the best version of me. And like, it reminded me when I started Money Making Mothers, my main thing was, you have this like pressure from everywhere that like, you need to do this as a mother, you need to do that as a mother, you shouldn't be working that much, you shouldn't be doing that. When in reality, me being the best version I can be for my children means me being the happiest version of myself. And the happiest version of myself is one that's working like an absolute dog and is non-stop over bang, 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 not over every single day, because that makes me switched on, happy. Like, I buy into myself more. Do you know, does that make sense? Like, and when
100%.
I buy into myself more, I believe in myself more, and it's just so much better. And like the kids, like I've had Jackson getting involved in it, and like the kid, like, "What you're on today, mum, and what you're doing," and you know, like he's getting to a point now where, like I said the other week about him with his like getting me clients, like I love that. I love that he's understanding incentive and he's understanding motivation and trying to reach a target. Like, people can't tell me that's a bad thing for my child to see, that his mother does that. Yeah, she works her ass off and she works all the time, but you know, I also spend loads of time with them doing other stuff. So it's like, it just makes me feel much better as a person, personally and professionally.
I think that's the right thing. I watched the Andy Elliott. We were talking about. Don't know if you watched his stuff yet or not. We were talking about him.
Yeah, I did on TikTok.
Yeah. So he was saying, I watched him say some stuff, and I listened to him on a podcast recently talking about this, saying him and his wife, they sat down together and they decided, with them, he works like from the moment he wakes up till like 11 o'clock at night. And the kids, he sees the kids when he comes back at 11 o'clock at night. And he just said, and he said that their friends said, "Do you not think that's unhealthy? That that they're waking up and they're not seeing their dad and they're not doing until they're late and they're waking him up and all that stuff." And he said, his wife said, "No, I think it's unhealthy. I think it's healthy for them to have a relationship with their father, and that's when they see him." And I liked this idea of like challenging the status quo of like, you can do whatever you
Yeah, they're
whatever.
normal.
He's happy, they're happy, their family's happy, their kids are happy. It works. You don't have to have that type of, like, we're the other way. My family the other way. Like, with the same thing. Freddie is like my wife is like a 20s housewife. Like, literally does everything from to the ground up, makes her own clothes, does everything. And the amount of shade she gets for that, and exactly what you just said, it's this idea of the happiest you're going to be will make you the best mother you're going to be. And I'm like you. So if I was a woman, I'd be like you. I would be like, no, I'd have to be like on it, working and doing stuff. So
I know I'm begging Keo to be a stay-at-home dad, and it's not happening. Please. And he's like, "No, but why? Please, just do that." Because if I knew like that's the only bit that bothers me out this whole thing is like, I hate the kids getting like, I'd love it if I knew that Keo, the dad, was, when they got in from school, he was there, or when they were doing, like, it was him. Like, I like the fact it'd be one of us rather than someone else. But in terms of like I don't know, I just think I've always put pressure to try and make sure I'm being a really good mum. And in reality, I'm a really good mum. I've got an amazing relationship with my kids. My 3 kids are all very happy, lovely kids. And like, even when you're a stay-at-home mum and you don't work at all, you still have issues with your children. You still might not have a good relationship. So really, there's no right or wrong. It's just whatever's right for you. And that people need to, I think that's what taking this year out to act differently and work differently, because I felt as if I should, because that's the next level when you take on staff, hasn't worked for me. I like to be an insurance advisor. I love it. And that's all that matters.
What's your parting words on this one then?
Just that in a nutshell. Just do what makes you happy. You do you. Don't worry about what everyone else is doing. And take it from me that it's you'll spend a very long time trying to prove that you're good enough to the people who don't really matter, rather than just doing what you know makes you feel good.